Imagine this, a top executive with over 100 properties, 100 key allies, and more than 100 mistresses. Sound unbelievable? Well, that's exactly what Lai Xiaomin, one of China's most corrupt officials, pulled off before his world came crashing down. After Xi Jinping took power in 2012, the Chinese government launched one of its biggest anti-corruption campaigns ever. Over 1.5 million party members were punished. But Lai Xiaomin, he became the first tiger to be executed. On January 5, 2021, Lai was sentenced to death for taking bribes and corruption worth 1.788 billion RMB. That's about $250 million. Oh, and he wasn't just corrupt, he was also charged with bigamy, lost all his political rights, and had his assets wiped out. This guy was living like a king. Police found 3 tons of cash in his apartment, about $31 million, just sitting there in safes. His wealth wasn't just about money either. He used it to support dozens of mistresses and illegitimate children, leading people to sarcastically call him a common folk emperor. And here's the kicker, his corruption was so massive that even Chinese authorities were stunned. Chen Qingbo, deputy director of cadre supervision, said that they had seen many financial scandals, but none compared to the scale of Lai's crimes. His schemes and the way he manipulated the system were beyond shocking. We've got a bit of a hunch that the CCP's bots don't exactly love the content we put out about China. They might even try to stop it from showing up in the algorithm. So if you could take just a second to hit that like button, it would really help us get past those barriers, especially when we're talking about exposing the CCP. Thanks so much for your support. 3 tons of cash in a supermarket of hidden wealth. Born in July 1962 in Ruijin, Jiangxi, Lai shot to the top as the chairman and CEO of China Huarong Asset Management, the country's largest asset management firm. But things took a wild turn when he became infamous for the biggest corruption scandal since the founding of the People's Republic of China, taking bribes worth a jaw-dropping 1.788 billion RMB, around 250 million USD. Yeah, you heard that right. After his arrest, China's aired a documentary in January 2020 called National Supervision, and it revealed some seriously shocking details about Lai's dirty dealings. In the second episode, Comprehensive Supervision, investigators exposed a secret house where Lai stashed his fortune. And when I say fortune, I mean safes loaded with over 200 million RMB in cash, nearly $31 million USD. Oh, and just for good measure, they froze a bank account in his mom's name with another 300 million RMB. That's around 43 million USD. But here's where it gets even crazier. Lai had a whole system to avoid getting caught. He only accepted bribes in cash, and after pocketing the money, he'd drive it to his hidden house, dump it in safes, and take random detours just to make sure nobody was tailing him. He and his crew even had a code name for the house, the supermarket. Like, who casually calls their secret bribe stash a supermarket? But here's the thing, the cash was just part of his collection. Lai's corruption also scored him luxury properties, high-end cars, fancy watches, piles of gold, and even priceless pieces of calligraphy and artwork. Talk about living large. In front of the camera, Lai actually admitted all of this. He said, "I'd bring the cash there, just like going grocery shopping. That's why I called it the supermarket." The money just sat there in the safes untouched. In the end, the authorities took everything. So what was the point? I didn't dare spend it, didn't dare use it, and I lived in constant fear. It's a crazy story, but what do you think? Could corruption on this level really go unnoticed for so long? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The legend of Lai Xiaomin and his Garden of Eden. Is it all when it comes to corruption scandals? Well, Lai Xiaomin really took living a double life to a whole new level. While still legally married, Lai wasn't just juggling a few mistresses, he had an entire community of beautiful women in Zhuhai. And all their kids called him Dad, according to China Economic Weekly. They even referred to his setup as an artificial Garden of Eden. But Lai wasn't content with just one secret life. He dumped his first wife, Shanlina, who, by the way, was the general manager at China Everbright Bank, and secretly married another mistress in Hong Kong. They even had twins together. But here's where it gets even wilder. Lai didn't just keep these women around, he actually gave many of them high-ranking positions in China Huarong, the company he was running. Talk about mixing business with pleasure. Now, here's the crazy part. Lai somehow managed to keep all of this under control, over 100 women, from his ex-wife to his mistresses, all playing their roles without causing any public drama. How did he pull it off? Well, like a true businessman, he had a system. His Hong Kong mistress, the one who had his twins, was labeled Mistress No. 1 and the others were ranked with plus or minus symbols based on how he felt about them. Yeah, over 100 women in total. One insider even joked, for Lai Xiaomin, sleeping with a famous actress was just another indulgence, like upgrading his regular meal according to sources. Those so-called overseas training programs Huarong ran, they were basically vacations for Lai's mistresses and family. And it didn't stop there. Rumors started swirling that his conquests weren't limited to regular women. Some were famous actresses, including a few who starred in Oscar-winning films. Back in 2018, financial journalist Cao Shanxi set social media on fire when he posted about Lai Xiaomin and Xu Mie, fueling speculation that these two A-list actresses were involved with Lai. Xu Qing's team quickly threatened to sue for spreading false rumors, while Xu Chuai took a more laid-back approach, saying, "I don't even know who Lai Xiaomin is." But it wasn't just about the women. Lai's corruption extended to property too. He secretly snagged 120 properties in Zhuhai, with 100 of them disguised as lottery prizes. And in the end, those properties were divided up between his ex-wife and various mistresses. So what do you think of Lai Xiaomin's Garden of Eden lifestyle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you found this story crazy, don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe for more wild stories like this one. Profiting from power and inner circle. Lai Xiaomin wasn't just any powerful figure, he was the man who turned relationships into a goldmine. Using his vast network, he expertly played both sides, cutting deals and collecting favors from some of the most influential players in business and the underworld. In Hong Kong, Lai earned the nickname God of Wealth for his bold moves, throwing millions into takeovers and massive stock speculations. One of his closest allies, Ji Xiaobo, the flashy businessman and boyfriend of actress Pace Wu, who ran Tianxing International. In 2015, Lai's company, Huarong Financial Holdings, backed Ji's struggling securities firm, whose stock had been circling the drain, valued at a meager $1 Hong Kong HKD. But that didn't last long. Before Huarong got involved, Tianxing's shareholders were in a constant shuffle, and its stock had been stuck below 1 HKD for years. Then, like magic, with Huarong's financial muscle behind it, the stock shot up to 9 HKD in just 6 months. The whole deal was a banquet for insiders, with Tencent reporting that Lai and Ji had met up well before the takeover. In fact, Tencent revealed that this was just one of many shady deals the two had worked on together. But Lai wasn't just playing the Hong Kong scene. Back in mainland China, he had another playground. In Beijing's Changning district, there was a place known as the Pixel China Hong Kong community, a hotspot filled with beautiful women and extravagant parties. This little slice of indulgence helped businessman Wang Yonghong make a killing over 5 billion RMB, about $685 million USD. And guess who was pulling the financial strings behind Wang's rise? That's right, Lai Xiaomin, Wang's so-called financial godfather. Inside Huarong, Lai surrounded himself with loyalists from his hometown province of Jiangxi, known as the Jiangxi Gang. Wang Yonghong was one of them, and Lai made sure the young businessman was well taken care of. Between 2015 and 2017, Huarong funneled at least 5.1 billion RMB, approximately $700 million USD in loans and backing to Wang's company, Zhonghong Holdings. But all good things must come to an end. After the success of the Pixel community, Wang's fortunes took a nosedive. By 2018, his debt spiraled out of control, and Zhonghong was teetering on the brink of collapse. With 5 billion RMB, $685 million USD in unpaid loans. With no one left to bail him out, Wang looked to Lai once again. But before Lai could swoop in to save the day, he was already under investigation himself. Lai's downfall didn't come as a surprise to those who knew him well. As the director of the General Office of the China Banking Regulatory Commission, and later as the head of Huarong, Lai used his power to pull the strings behind massive projects, securing lucrative deals for companies and individuals, all while demanding his share. Promotions, contracts, financial backing, everything had a price. Over time, he pocketed a staggering 1.788 billion RMB, around $250 million USD in bribes, setting a new record for corruption in China. China Huarong Asset Management Company, Limited, which Lai oversaw, was initially created by the government to clean up the banking industry's bad debts. But under Lai's leadership, it became a financial empire dabbling in investments, real estate, and high-stakes loans. And Lai? He treated Huarong as his personal ATM, greenlighting shady deals, bending rules, and making millions off the backs of his powerful connections until his empire of corruption crumbled around him. Is China's anti-corruption campaign just a cover for power struggles? All right. Let's talk about something that's been making waves in China, Xi Jinping's so-called anti-corruption campaign, the one they branded Tiger and Fly on paper. It sounds like a noble crusade toppling corrupt officials left and right. But here's the catch. Instead of cleaning up the system, all it's really done is fuel more internal division and ignite a vicious power struggle. Here's the real story. Xi didn't just go after corrupt officials, he's been taking aim at the political faction of former leader Jiang Zemin, who ruled the Chinese political scene for about 20 years. In fact, Xi's been dismantling all kinds of political cliques while trying to reform the economy. He's trying to fix China's financial mess, but it hasn't been easy. The deeper he pushes these reforms, the more the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, fractures. Jiang's supporters? They're not going down without a fight. And get this, even the so-called red aristocrats, the kids of China's elite leaders, are starting to turn against each other. Beijing is basically in a full-on political war right now. Everybody's out for themselves. Now, let's talk about corruption in the CCP. It's wild. We're talking hundreds of millions in bribes, luxury properties, kilos of gold. Yeah, it's that extreme. And here's the kicker: nobody in the upper ranks actually believes in the party's ideology anymore. The CCP has become just a tool for getting rich and powerful. And this insane level of corruption, it's one of the main reasons people think the CCP is on a fast track to collapse. There are officials, believe it or not, who still have a conscience, and they're quietly jumping ship. Since 2004, there's been this growing movement to quit the CCP. It's all about waking people up to the fact that the party is holding China back from a better future. And according to the Global Service Center for quitting the CCP, as of 2024, about 436 million people have quit the party, youth league, or young pioneers. That's massive. If you've ever been to places like Paris or Rome, you might have heard Chinese tourists saying quitting the CCP is the smart thing to do. People who once joined the party to get ahead now see it's falling apart. The world's calling out its corruption, and it's sinking fast. And here's a dark truth: the CCP is facing backlash for its horrific crimes, especially for live organ harvesting from Falun Gong practitioners, Uyghurs, and other prisoners of conscience. People are waking up, and no one wants to go down with that ship. Many who've quit the party openly say the corruption won't stop until the CCP itself is gone. They're right, corruption is in the party's DNA, and it's destroyed China's moral compass. Even CCP officials are bailing out. They're moving their families and money overseas, preparing for the worst. So here's the big takeaway: more and more people in China are waking up, and that could be the final blow that leads to the CCP's collapse. Stay tuned, because this is far from over. So what do you think? Is the CCP nearing its collapse? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. And if you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into China and what's really happening behind the scenes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.